The original move order of the Catalan is as follows. Pawn to d4, and here black, instead of playing pawn to d5, they like playing knight f6 right away, after which I recommend you go pawn to c4. So the first thing that you need to create are these two pawns here, the d4 pawn and the c4 pawn, in the Queen's Gambit style. And here mostly black will play pawn to e6. As you can see by the highlighted arrows, we are not interested to play any of these highlighted moves in red. I mean, in this position, white can play knight c3, bishop f4, bishop g5, pawn e3, or the immediate knight to f3. But in the Catalan opening, the main move is pawn to g3. So this is the structure that you want to have. The opening may continue as follows. Bishop d5 by black, after which you just continue with the normal development, bishop g2. I mean, that's why you played pawn to g3. So bishop e7, knight f3. Now, before I go any further, here I was just showing you the main moves of the Catalan opening. Our main area of our meet is the d4 pawn, the c4 pawn, and the g3 pawn. So you make sure that you play this g3 pawn as soon as you finish making your Queen's Gambit structure. Now the Catalan is divided into two main variations, the Open Catalan and the Closed Catalan. So in this position, if black takes on c4, that is the Open Catalan. But if black doesn't take on c4 and chooses to play pawn to c6 right away, then we know that we are no longer playing the Open Catalan. It is now the Closed Catalan. So the Closed Catalan is where black arranges his pawns in the style of the semi-Slav. And black doesn't even take on c4. So that is the main difference here. With the Open Catalan, black takes on c4, but in the Closed Catalan, black plays in the semi-Slav style by building this beautiful pyramid right here. So after d4, d5, c4, the Queen's Gambit setup, again, pawn to e6 is what you see most of the times. Knight f3, I recommend knight f6, and then you play g3, which is the Catalan. Now, just like I said earlier on, immediately your opponent see g3, they know it's the Catalan, so they can do all sorts of things. For example, taking on c4, which is the open defense, but in this variation, they can also try to play knight b d7 after seeing that you are intending to play the Catalan. This is what they do here, knight b d7. With knight b d7, they are just planning to push pawn to c5 next. Anyways, you just continue with your typical plans, bishop g2, intending to castle short, and here you are still going to see them taking on c4 anyways. Well, just castle short, nothing so complicated. And in this position, black can either choose to play pawn to b5 or pawn to c5. Let me tell you something here. Whenever you see b5, just think of the bishop on g2. This is common when playing against people unfamiliar with the Catalan. They always rush to play pawn to b5. Whenever b5 is played, look for tactics involving the bishop on g2, the Catalan bishop. In this case, you can quickly play knight e5 because that attacks the rook on a8 directly. And you will see your lower rated opponents here saving their rook, forgetting that knight c6 traps the queen as it cannot even go on e7, or just take it. So, well, that's just to show you how the f knight and the Catalan bishop work together to cause chaos. Anyways, let's go back. So instead of pawn to b5, you see most of your advanced players playing pawn to c5. Whenever you see black's c5 pawn, you should start thinking of queen f4 again. See, the c5 pawn leaves some weaknesses on c6 and c7. That's just how we approach it. Another thing to think about is how you can win back the c pawn. In this case, even though queen f4 is playable, super GMs like to play the move knight a3 here, developing a minor piece in an attacking way. So knight a3 is what I recommend as well. Knight a3 in this position also makes sense because black can not double up our pawns with bishop takes on a3, since the pawn on c5 is blocking the dark squared bishop. And so if black plays knight b6 here, you can again make use of your tactical skills and play knight takes on c4, a brilliant move. Because if the knight takes back, you have queen a4 check, then winning back your piece. Let's say after bishop d7, you take back on c4. Black may try to play b5, attacking your queen. Just go back to c2, and after rook c8, d takes c5, bishop takes c5 with some nasty discovery ideas. Queen b3, it's very important to always move out of the pin, and here black may play castle shot, knight e5. Yes, we haven't yet developed our dark squared bishop, but knight e5 looks yummy. So whenever you have a chance to play knight e5 in an effort to pave way for your Catalan bishop, do it. So black may play pawn to b4. Just play rook d1, putting more pressure on our opponent to increase his chances of blundering. And after something like queen e7, we play bishop g5, pressure after pressure, pinning the knight on f6 to the queen on e7. And after something like rook f d8 by black, we play bishop b7, again pressure after pressure. With such kinds of moves, black is more likely to blunder, and now you can see how the Catalan position can easily explode. And that's just how we play in the knight b d7 lines. Don't even be afraid of playing against this line. The next move that you play from here, after let's say something like rook c7, you just go back to g2 and play rook a c1. You also have knight g4, since the knight on f6 is pinned to the queen, etc. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.